Hi everyone, Dr. Karen here. We're talking about tips to help your kids, your teenagers, your young adults crush their first job, whether it's part-time job, full-time job. My husband and I, we've hit that age. Our teenagers have now just got their first job, which is like super exciting. And they started their own business a couple of years ago, but we also really wanted them to be an employee. I feel it's a different kind of skill. So that's what we're going to explore today. These are all things that I have learned. I've been doing this work for over 25 years, but working with many different organizations, companies, profit, nonprofit, globally. What are people actually looking for when they're actually hiring? These are all based on I'm going to be the tips I'm going to be sharing with you. Okay, so again, whether or not you have a teenager, you've got somebody in their 20s, whether or not you yourself are actually going for a job, these are going to be really helpful tips. Okay, so let's dive in. So the first one is make sure you just do a really amazing resume. And this seems so basic, but it is really important that your resume actually stands out. The ones that we did with our boys, we used Canva. It's a free resource, and you can just have a lot of fun. It can make it really artistic, and you can then keep building on it as you're developing actually more skills. So that is actually a really great one. Tip number 2 is help them craft an email. This is something that's really important, that when we work with organizations, a lot of times HR managers will say, Karen, I know that it's really the parents that are writing that email, or the parents that actually did the resume, or the parents that actually applied. Parents, we don't want to do that. It is really important when we're thinking about developing and teaching leadership to our children, we show them how to do it, but we don't do it for them. Okay, so it's like we're partnering, we're kind of coaching, but we let them actually do the work. So you can certainly help your teens, your young adults in terms of crafting the email, but make sure that they are the ones that are actually doing it. So that's number 2. Number 3, practice those interview skills. It's amazing when we think about interview skills, how important it is to practice. Eye contact, smiling, energy, shoulders, right? Practice different kind of questions, and practice like the overall passion. Passion is actually really important. So really important to think about what are the different questions that you think they could be asked, and then to practice it out. Practice that muscle memory. I've done television for years, and even when I'm driving to interviews or TV shows, I'll still have anxiety if I'm going to be certainly on national television, but I'm practicing in the car my messaging, my key message. I'm doing that when I'm actually going to go speak before I'm actually doing a keynote, is I'll be practicing in the morning or in the car, that muscle memory. This is what we're doing when we're helping our kids and young adults with interviews. And again, maybe you are actually thinking about going after a new job. Great. Practice it. Say it out loud, not just actually in our head. Practice those interview skills so that when you're saying your message, it just flows and it's easy and it feels like it's very natural. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is what we taught our boys. Okay, early is 15 minutes early. Okay, and so early is early. You don't want to just be showing up on time. You want to be actually showing up early. Nothing is more irritating for a lot of employers when people are showing up late, because you just don't know if you're going to hit construction, you're going to hit, lots of red lights. There's going to be something that's going to kind of block you in your way, that all of a sudden now you're a few minutes late. Do not be late. So you want to make sure, you're always 15 minutes early. That really, really stands out. It's one of the biggest frustrations, believe it or not, that I'm hearing from a lot of employers, is that people are showing on time or late. So make sure you're early. Number 5 is make sure you teach your kids and young adults the difference between asking and telling. So instead of saying to your employer, I can't come in on Friday, which will sound like it will sound entitled to. I do a lot of work with companies in terms of generational differences. This is one of those generational communication differences. If you tell a manager, I can't come in on Friday, that sounds entitled. That's a generational difference. You don't want to do that. You always want to make sure you phrase as a question. I'm curious, would it be possible if I got Friday off because I have this other commitment? Would that be okay with you? when you make it into a question, it will come across much more respectful. So that is number 5. Really want to teach your kids about that important skill. Number 6, make sure you teach them to have lots of please and thank yous. Gratitude is an amazing, amazing, amazing way to kind of build relationships with those that we actually work with. So, and you want to kind of let go of that thinking, well, I shouldn't have to thank them for the job. They should thank me for being here. Get rid of that thinking. That sounds super entitled. Say, thank you so much for the opportunity for this job. Give them lots of thank yous. Gratitude is an amazing way to build relationships. And number 7, everybody, number 7 is teach your kids and young adults, look for ways to be helpful. Look for ways to kind of add value. And it doesn't matter with what that job is. Really, you're going above and beyond what is expected, and what you're doing is you're building relationships. You're honing in those skills, and that is going to serve you very well in terms of your overall network, your relationships, your resume, your reference. And so 7 skills, everybody, 7 skills that you can apply to your kids, your young adults, but even as for yourself, if you are really looking at kind of developing and honing your skills in your part-time or full-time job. So those are, hopefully you found that really helpful. And like I said, we've got we've got a great leadership EQ scorecard for those of you who really want to kind of hone those leadership skills in your workplace. Just hit yes below, and somebody from our team will actually send that out to you. And as always, make sure you check out some of our other YouTube videos, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified when some of our other videos are coming out.